Took a very long walk down a street that I hate. Man, nothing has changed. Been folding my clothes in irregular ways, kinda like the new shapes. My coffee's laced. Bye bye.
Good. We're live. We got the old thumbs up. We're live, baby. Woohoo! Thank you for enduring some technical difficulties that we had. And the reason why we had them is because vodka sucks. That's why. Yeah. Yeah. The guy that's helping me out here likes to drink vodka, and he was, he's got this big beard, and he's like, he was like a fifth in. How much vodka did you drink, Michael?
When?
Just now, before. Are you good?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Vodka sucks.
Vodka sucks. America. But no, for real, thank you all for bearing with us on those technical difficulties. We got it up and running. We are streaming across several platforms. If one happens to go down, you can always go to X or YouTube, Twitch or Facebook, so we are good to go. So tonight is my annual top 100, and before I kind of jump into that, before I get into the tasting and tell you what I've been doing the past week, I want to kind of talk a little bit about the state of whiskey. And first, I over here for right now, I've got my computer up, and I would love to see in the chat where you're from, what you're drinking, and feel free to take a picture and tag me on Instagram as well. Love to see that. But I want to see what you're doing tonight as I'm tasting all these incredible whiskeys. But the state of whiskey, 2024 was a pretty incredible year for me, like personally, and I think American whiskey wise. I think this was probably the best year in my career of whiskey. This was the year that we saw a lot of small distillers take it to the next step. I'm thinking of brands like Whiskey Acres. Whiskey Acres, which has been this craft distiller kind of like trucking along for years. To me, this was a big momentous year for them. They came out with a brand that was just, a 7-year-old that made this list. It's absolutely delicious. And then I think of we're kind of seeing like the tail end of the celebrity movement, but those celebrities who have, stuck with it and really appreciate whiskey, like Ian Somerhalder, they're putting out great whiskey and they're doing innovative things. So you see something like Brothers Bond, the regenerative series that they're doing, which is basically putting a focus on agriculture. To me, that's very exciting. And then I look at the bigger distillers, Buffalo Trace doesn't need any help, promoting their product. They're always doing quite well, and people get in long lines and go crazy for them. But Weller Millennium, that is the type of whiskey that is going to help put American whiskey on the same levels as Scotch in those auctions where they're going for gobs of money. Now, is that whiskey always better? Is it always better because it's more expensive? Absolutely not. But as we know, this year was also like a rough business year. There were a lot of small distillers that went out of business. A lot of brands went out of business that were like NDPs. And you have bigger companies like Brown-Forman who reported negative sales in some areas. Diageo, the same situation, talking about fewer case counts in American whiskey. But I think we got to be realistic that people were judging a lot of numbers off of the pandemic. And the fact is we drank way too much during the pandemic. And I would say we've probably all cut back, even myself. And I do this for a living. Now, this has probably been the lightest year for me from a tasting perspective in the last 10 years. Now, here's the reason why. I'm really striving to get healthier. I'm down 45 pounds, and I've really put myself on a health journey to get myself in better shape. And it has an impact on my ability to taste. Now, I'm in jiu-jitsu, and I did happen to have a throat injury where I actually was unable to taste literally for a few weeks. But the truth is, tasting and drinking, they're two different things. But when I taste, I find myself like just wanting to taste. Whereas like a few years ago, I would taste and then I'd want to go have a beer with a friend or have another drink with a friend, something like that. And that part of my life, I feel like, is like kind of going away a little bit in terms of my ability, because I want to get healthier. And that's a part of being a professional taster. If you don't take care of yourself in this world, you won't be long for it. And this industry has taken far too many people far too early. In fact, I wear this pin in memory of one of my mentors and dear friends, Dave Pickerel, who was a master distiller for Maker's Mark, Whistle Pig, Hill Rock. He was the founding distiller or blender for Blackened. He's helped out so many small distilleries from Woodinville to Nelson's Greenbrier. Just an incredible guy. And I feel like we lost him too early. When he passed away a few years ago, that had a big impact on me with me trying to get healthier. And so this year, I only tasted 600 whiskeys. And how did those whiskeys that I tasted, make it to tonight's list? Well, I'm going to talk about that here in a second and kind of go over the criteria and everything that I use to select my top 100. But I want to get in the chat and see what everyone's up to, where everyone's from. I'm going into the YouTube chat here, and it looks like we got Slayton. Slayton Rice is from Alabama. He's drinking some K-Luke Cab Finish. Now, K-Luke made the list. This is, I think, their 4th or 5th year in a row to make my list. Deborah is from New Mexico. Not drinking tonight because she's driving. That's good. Deborah, we don't want you drinking when you're driving. When you get home, have a little sippy or two. Brandon Koistra is having a little OCD number 5 in Williamsburg, Virginia. Looking forward to the ranking. I like it. Right on. We got Jessica Ann, who is my former assistant. And just want you to know, Jessica, thanks for watching. Definitely miss you. Of course, anyone remembers the very first one of these, Jessica was pounding Pappy when I was going out to take a break. She was just like, woo! So I hope you're well, Jessica. We miss you. As you can see, we got a new setup. We got a new setup here, a little different. I'll talk about that here in a second. So we got Terry from Mount Sterling, Kentucky, having a little Larceny C924. That's in the running tonight. We got ADHD Whiskey. What is going on, man? Good to see you. Excited to see how it plays out, he says. Now, ADHD Whiskey is a judge on the Ascot Awards, and that's one of the paths to make my top 100. I'll be talking about that here in a minute. WD Hare is having a little Raconteur Rye out of Indiana. Caleb's having some George T. Stagg in Seattle, Wisconsin. And Kevin Connolly's having some NBC Sonic Boom in North Carolina. Kate in Naples, Florida. I go to Naples almost every year. Love Naples. Opening a little Nashville Barrel Company. Buffalo Bourbon Enthusiast shared some GTS earlier. They all agreed, not worth the hype. Well, sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Let's see, who else we got here? Herb Peas. Herb, is that your name? Herb Peas, that's really your name? That's a hell of a name there, Herb. Having a little Russell's Single Barrel. Thank you there for that, for the super chat. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about how things got into my top 100, and then I'm going to break down what they are. Now, before we start revealing what things are, it's very important that you know that you need to, like, if you are having problems, if we've got a misspelling, if we've got a brand name wrong, whatever on the graphic, y'all, I have been removed from the graphics and the bottles and all that. So my wife and my great friend Eric Carrico have been managing this behind the scenes, taking care of the pouring and all that. In the event that there's an error or something, there you can go to my website to see like what the actual brand names and everything is. Also, you know, tomorrow, maybe Sunday, possibly Monday, I will have the actual full ranking, and that will be the official. That will be the official ranking tonight. After I'm done with the tasting, I'm going to review all the notes and all the scores that I had, just to make sure that there weren't any errors here and there. I don't think there'll be anything. There usually isn't, but just in case, the actual final of tonight's tasting will go down on my website tomorrow. So here are the paths to get here. One, I've added something new this year. I added fan favorites for my whiskey club, Club Marzipan, which if you are a member of Club Marzipan, put it in the chat, tell everyone what kind of a good time we have, because we all get together, we hang out a lot, we're really just, it's really a community about having fun with whiskey more than anything. There's some education there and some barrel picks, but for me, it's about friendship and building a community. But put in the chat, you know, about Club Marzipan, what you think about it. But I had a couple people vote for products. I was like, hey, what was your favorites? What should I have in there? And, you know, overwhelming consensus was Green River Foolproof. That was one that came in here as a Club Marzipan fan favorite. Another method of getting into my top 100 is my Blind Bourbon Live series. And that is where I go around the country to like casinos, hotels, events, and I have people, you know, taste a blind flight of whiskey, and they vote on them, they rank them, and whatever they choose gets entered into my top 100. And we've had some interesting ones over the years. This year, a couple of them that made it was Parker's Heritage this year. Probably would have made it on a tasting for me alone anyway. But that one, Blind Bourbon, New Jersey. Woodford Reserve, just standard old, regular, everyday Woodford Reserve, beat a pretty impressive lineup in Texas for my blind bourbon in Texas. There's part of the Big 12 media days. And then Larceny 8124 literally won 3 blind bourbons this year. And that was not me tasting it and voting on it. That was the audience voting on it. So that won 3 of them, including Bardstown, or not Bardstown Bourbon Company, the Bourbon and Beyond, which was a flight of 18 bourbons. So that's another path. The biggest path to getting to my top 100 is doing really well in my ascots or having like a personal high score from me. So there's several brands in here. You can go to fredminnick.com and see the list of it, see how well like certain ones from the ascots did. A couple of them that come to mind is the Woodinville Founders Find. That one actually had my vote for Best in Show at the Ascots. And the Ascot Awards, that's my competition, which ADHD Whiskey and Mash and Drum, they're both judges on. And these are panels, so it's not just my opinion. It's like other judges giving their opinion on what is their favorite. And so what does well in the competition and what gets my high scores, that will get an entry into here. And then there is the tastings that just flat out impress me. Like I do like individual reviews on YouTube or on Club Marzipan. There was a brand called Lithgow, which was a 9-year 4-grain bourbon that got on here. Another one on Club Marzipan review was Lost Lantern. And of course, there've been several, reviews that I've done on YouTube where people, I fall in love with a whiskey, or it's like kind of right there in the middle, and it just kind of like starts to warm up on me. A lot of products get on here from that. And the other thing is just like generally what excites me. So I tasted, this one happened to one blind bourbon in Oregon, and it was a Crater Lakes. It was a reserve rye out of there. And, that won the crowd, but it also would have won me over because this is a small distillery with an estate-grown rye, and it was like, this is really freaking good. This is very exciting to me. I like seeing things that I can support and hope elevate. And man, I hope other small distillers are able to put out an estate-grown rye like our Crater Lakes did. I mentioned Brothers Bond. I'm a big fan of regenerative agriculture, and I think it's important to look at that as a reward measure. And then there are things like Copper Fox, like this really rich, heavy, and essence of grain pot distilled product that blew me away when I first tasted it. And I tasted that on a live stream a few weeks ago. And you've got to look at things that you want to reward. Like if you take a look at the last 3 years, you will notice there's never been an Amburana finish on my list. I don't want to reward Amburana. I don't want to reward that crap. I'm not going to put in a flavored whiskey. I don't want to reward that. So this is my list and my opportunity to say, basically give a kudos or an attaboy to the distillers doing things that are exciting to me and that I think are cool. But it's very important that this is my list. This is no one else's list. This is mine. I put this top 100 together because I want to do something different. And I've kind of changed how I've done the tasting over the years. This week, I have been tasting all week. So I've been tasting in Club Marzipan all week. Now I'm going to go into the chat and talk to you all for a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to get into what I've been tasting and how those rankings have been. But I'm not going to do it just yet, so don't put up the graphic yet, Michael. I'm going to go in the chat and talk to people here. Jason says, Fireball sucks. Yes, it does, Jason. Yes, it does. But boy, if you had some stock in like Fireball, think about the cases they move. For God's sakes, you can't go to a marathon or a fraternity party and not see freaking Fireball everywhere. It's crazy. Let's see here. Let's talk about, the other Don says, Club Marzipan is the place to be for those into all aspects of whiskey. Thank you, the other Don. I love that. Space Ghost says, Hope Dickel Tabasco is in here. Well, Space Ghost, I hate to disappoint you, but it ain't in here. All right, let's see what else we got. Great question from G. Clemens. How many ascots do you think you own? Well, I haven't done a count in a while, but I did a count one time, and I had between like 80 and 120, and I lost a bunch of them. Actually, I lose probably about 3 or 4 ascots a year when I travel. They're the darndest things. They just get lost in the hotels. I mean, what am I doing with them in a hotel, you might ask? All right, so Kevin is having a little Still Austin. Kevin Mayer's having a little Still Austin single barrel cask strength versus Maker's Mark Lost recipes. Okay, go for it, man. I like you're doing a little blind tasting of your own tonight. Don Robinson's having Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof and is hanging out in Washington. And Dracona Flame, so no Amburana flavored whiskeys, but what's your limits with other finished stuff? Great question. I'm pretty much anti-labeling of barrel finishes. Flavored whiskeys, I'm kind of like, just don't use a name brand in bourbon. So, come up with its own unique name. Like I think Fireball as a product is respectful to the whiskeys that it uses, because they don't ever say it's like Buffalo Trace cinnamon. So I think I like the way Buffalo Trace handles their flavored whiskey line. I don't like how Jack Daniel's handles theirs, if that makes any sense. And I'm going to go to a couple more here. David's having some barrel toasted seagrass in Pennsylvania. That's a nice sounding night right there. All right. Let's go to Facebook here. And Matthew Herbers is in Des Moines, Iowa, sipping on some James E. Pepper decanter, which made the list. Okay, y'all. Let's do this. All right. I'm going to close this. I'm closing my computer so I'm out of the chat. And I'm going to start talking about the whiskeys that made it here. Now, first, I'm going to talk about the contenders, and then you are going to see the list, and I will tell you how I graded them throughout the week in Club Marzipan, and then we are going to taste the top 25 where I will rank them. Now, between me telling you what they are and me getting to the final ranking, you will see a scroller of what everything finishes in the ranking. Now, again, this is a live stream that I have not had a chance to proof or look at or anything like that. So there could be errors, there could be typos, there could be proofs wrong, things like that. We will get those corrected if any of those exist. Hopefully it's not too bad. But the final actual ranking will come out probably tomorrow, maybe Sunday, worst case, Monday. So here are your contenders. Boulder Cask Strength 2024. This is its third year in a row of making it. 291 Colorado whiskey, finished with Aspen staves. People, I'm telling you, 291 does really, really well in competitions, and I believe I have a theory on that. It's because there's no flaws in it, and it has some very particular unique notes that never go away on fatigued palates. So I believe that 291 is a competition killer. So if it's ever in a flight, it could win the flight because it is a well-made whiskey that has some unique notes in it that stand out with fatigued palates often. Also, it's a really good whiskey. It's made the list 2 or 3 years time, two or three times now. 2XO, the Sneakerhead blend. I believe this is Dixon Deadman's best blend of his career since he left Kentucky Al, which it fell off a fucking cliff when he left Kentucky Al. Angel's Envy Cask Strength. This is the best Angel's Envy Cask Strength that I can recall. And, this is my memory. I've blind tasted them since then, so I could look like an idiot later, but I really feel like this was a great one. Bardstown Bourbon Company, Amrit. I love the use of Indian whiskey. I like seeing an Indian whiskey finish enter the American whiskey world. A lot of good Indian whiskey out there. Bardstown Bourbon Company Collaborative Series, the Bourbon Lore. So the Bourbon Lore is a club. They did this, my good friend Clay Risen's a part of it, and they did this collab series. It's phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. Barrel Batch 36. Barrel is just year in, year out, one of the best blending houses in the world. This one reminds me of the one that won San Francisco a few years ago. Barrel Mizunara finish. So it's a Japanese oak, and that can bring a lot of complexities to a whiskey. Ben Holiday Rickhouse, 6-year-old bourbon. So this one is, what they're doing with Missouri bourbon, just absolutely putting it on the map. Bluegrass Elkwood Reserve 9-year. I bought this the other day in Liquor Barn. The other day, 3 weeks ago. I guess, is that the other day still? I don't know. Really friggin' good. Really enjoyed it. Baumburgers 2024. This was not on my list. Remember, I talked about the fan votes coming in from Club Marzipan. This and Green River were thrusted onto my list because so many people wanted it there. Booker's 2024-3. That is delicious. Booker 2024-4. Also delicious. Brothers Bond Regenerative Grain. I mentioned that one earlier. Brothers of the Leaf, batch 2. Straight bourbon finished in toasted oak. So here's the thing about this one. My friend Brian Gelfo came out with this one, and I think the world of him. But I've always told him, like I do all my friends, I was like, hey man, we're friends and all, but I gotta judge you by your whiskey. It's really good, Brian. Bullet 10-year rye. I don't understand why everyone's all about the 12-year rye from Bullet. I think the 10-year rye is much better. Bywater 4-grain bourbon. This was one of my highest scores at the Ascots. Let's see how it does today. Cedar Ridge Distillery quintessential special release port side. You know what? I simply wrote the word yummy on this when I first tasted it, and it holds true. Chattanooga Whiskey Founders Blend. This one is Chattanooga's had some great whiskey over the years. I don't really know where this one's going to rank in the grand scheme of all their stuff, but I really liked it. Cock of the Walk Proprietors Blend, Reserve Lot 3. Yeah, Cock of the Walk. Not judging them on their name. Cooper Fox Pot Distilled. I mentioned them earlier, the Chestnut American Whiskey. Really innovative stuff. I like it when a distiller uses various grains and does it well. Here is their composite. 64 corn, 27% in-house hand malted barley, 9% malt, all grown in Virginia. That's pretty cool. Crater Lake Reserve Rye, talked about them earlier. One blind bourbon, Oregon. Doc Swinson's Alter Ego Sherry and Cognac finish. This is a really good example of two barrels melding together. Elijah Craig A124. This is my only Elijah Craig on this year's list. Epic Reserve Maryland Straight Rye. Tasted this at the Ascots and was wowed. Forbidden Batch 3. May beat Marianne Eve's best blend yet. Four Roses Limited Edition Small Batch. Let's face it, that's a perennial. Garrison Brothers 2024 Laguna Madra. Really enjoyed that one. Gave that high praise on YouTube. George T. Stagg also got high praise on YouTube. Club Marzipan's Pick. Green River Foolproof. Hard Truth Sweet Mash Rye. Finished in sherry cask. So, funny story on that. This was delivered to the wrong house when we were doing getting together our tasting. I thought someone stole it from my house. Heaven Hill Grain to Glass Rye. I really didn't like the Grain to Glass series from Heaven Hill, but I really liked the rye. So this was the only one that was a winner for me. Heaven's Door Homesick Blues. High West Bottled and Bond. Hooten Young Rye. Jay Mattingly's 6-year double stave. To me, this Jay Mattingly is a coming out moment for them. I felt like this is really a great whiskey. We'll see where it finishes when we get to the rankings. I mean, I'll see it afterward. You'll see it as I'm doing it. James E. Pepper Decanter, 2nd year in a row, making the list. Jefferson's Ocean Double Barrel Rye. I would like to see Trey do more double barrel ryes coming off the ocean, because this is fantastic. Now here's one we talk about things you want to support. Keeper's Heart Irish plus American. This is a whiskey that is, to me, is a part of a new trend where people are bringing in all kinds of different types of whiskeys and blending them together. Want to reward where it's good. Kentucky Peerless Small Batch Rye, Kings County 7-year Bottle and Bond, K-Luke Batch 10, great blending house. Knob Creek 18-year, always delicious. Larceny A124, Larceny C924, both fantastic. I mean, my palate has been going Larceny. It went Larceny 2 and 3 last year. Let's see how it goes this year. Lasso Motel Cognac Cast Finish. I was very surprised by how much I like this one. Lawrenceburg, which renamed to Larrikin Bourbon Company, 10-year rye whiskey. I thought this was herbal candy all day long. Leopold Brothers 8-year bourbon, delicious. Liberty Pole peated rye batch 6, Little Book chapter 8, Lost Lantern, far flung. Lithgow 9-year 4-grain straight bourbon, Founders Collection, 94 proof. Guys, it was delicious. Maker's Mark Cellar Age, this year's also delicious. Probably liked it a little bit more than last year's, which when I first tasted last year's, I was goo-goo, but when I blind tasted it, didn't do so well. Michter's Cask Strength Rye, Michter's Toasted, Middle West Cask Strength Bourbon, the Batch 1, the Michelonian Reserve, High West, Middle West Wheat Whiskey, Milam and Green Triple Cask, Nashville Barrel 7-year, Nashville Barrel Company Small Batch Rye, New Riff 8-year Bourbon, New Riff 8-year Rye, New Riff Winter Whiskey Bottled and Bond, Malted Oat and Chocolate Malt, delicious. OH River Age Flagship, Old Elk Distillery Wheated 8-year Old Line, Single Malt Oak, Sherry Cask and Virgin Oak, Old Pepper Bottled and Bond Rye, Old Rip Van Winkle 10-year-old, Old Stubborn Batch 1, Pacific Coast Spirits 6-year California Wheated Bourbon, Pappy Van Winkle 15-year-old, Parker's Heritage 14-year Malt, Peerless Double Oak Batch 18, Penelope Cask Strength 4-grain 19, Batch 19, Pinhook Cask Strength, that was a Club Marzipan review, Ponfay West Sylvania Rye, Preservation Pot Distilled Wheated Bourbon, Pursuit United Double Oak Rye, Rabbit Hole Boxer Grail 8-year Cask Strength, Rare Perfection 8-year Lot B, Remus Gatsby, Remus Repeal 8-year, Remus Repeal 8, Russell's Reserve 15-year, Savage and Cook American Whiskey finished in Zin barrels, Sazerac 8-year, Smoke Wagon, Small Batch, Smoke Eye Hill, which won the Ascots, Smooth Ambler, Contradiction Rye, number 56, Starlight, Bottled and Bond, Carl T, Stranahan's 12-year single malt, the Maggie blend, or the Maggi blend, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Proof and Wood, Tumblin' Dice, Union Horse Bottled and Bond, Very Old St. Nick, straight out of Bardstown, Wild Turkey 8-year, Willet 8-year, Woodford Reserve. I probably should not have just read them like that, but you know what? We're here for it. All right, so now you can put up the tasting letters. Go ahead.
The chunks or the...
Yeah, you can put up the first batch of chunks is what we call them. Okay, so this is how I scored everything and how I went into determining what the rankings are. I've tasted all 100 of these over the course of the week. Some of them were videoed and placed on Club Marzipan. Some were just straight notes. I'm going to give you like very, very like short condensed notes and a score. And after I am through with that, you're going to see a ticker of where the 100 to 26 are. And then we're going to get into the 100. Now, a couple things before I get into this. I bought most of these products. You don't even want to know how much money I spent buying most of the products for this. But I did have some that were provided to me by the distilleries. So just assumed everything was provided to me by the distilleries. Some of these bottles are hard as shit to get. And I also have a disclosure statement on fredminnick.com and on YouTube. Make sure you check that out if you would like to. All right, so let's get to it. So glass A was very spicy, floral, and sweet. We got the chunks up. Are we up?
Yeah,
we got the graphic up?
Yeah.
All right, we call this chunks. So that's probably not a good name to be using here, especially what are we thinking here? They don't need to know about our conversations before. All right, so 92. A got a 92. A1, beautiful nutmeg and sour apple, 95.4. Just so you know, when you hear me give a big call out like 95.4, that's going to the finals. So if the ones that were on the edge of the finals were in that mid 90s range. A10, hickory and anise, 81.4. A11, pumpernickel, rye, and dill, plus some weird sweetness, maybe passion fruit, 87.3. A12, not what I was expecting from the nose. What was a floral turned a little lemon. Ooh, 83.2. A13, peppermint, paprika, salt and pepper, crispy edge of a fried egg, and cornbread. I got creative there. 91. A14, honey, malty, and citrus. Love this. 94. A15, honey, marzipan, fig. 90.2. A16, peanut shells, apricot, peanut butter with a hint of oak. 87.9. A17, orange zest, caramel, and a little pepper, 82.4. A18, tobacco, smoke, grapefruit, 88.6. A19, Oreo, cookie, filling, taco shell, and caramel. Did not have that all together at once though. 92.9, probably through the finals. Pine, A2, pine, forest, spicy, caramel, 88.2. A20, holy shit, this is pepper, yam, vanilla, caramel, nutter butter, 95.8. A21, Tootsie Roll, 90.4. A22, rice pudding and jalapeno, 85.1. A23, Smoke City, but like smoked peaches, 84. A24, hops like an IPA, smoke and buttery, rye bread, 83.1. A25, blackberry, allspice, ginger, 93.5. A26, hazelnut, vanilla, orange creamsicle, delicious, 95.2. All right, I'm going to A27. Is that the next one? Or are we still in the same one?
We're still in the same.
Okay. A27, overcooked pecans and pecan pie. Strange how that smells overcooked but doesn't taste that way. 85.1. A28, vanilla, caramel, clove, ginger, nutmeg, and unsalted cracker. 90.8. A29, beautiful, layered and toffee, hazelnut, and pear. 94.1. A3, coffee. That sounds good right now, actually. Cup of coffee. 83.8. A30, graham cracker, brie cheese and blueberries, 92.6. A31, clove and smoke, 86. A32, wowza, vanilla, super city highway with a long finish. A33, plum pudding, juniper, fig, and herbs, 89.4. A34, smoke, apricot, and butter, 87.1. A35, rich, buttery, and filled with fruit. A36, cinnamon, malt, chocolate, yummy, 93.4. A37, grainy and buttery, little citrus. A38, little earthy, floral, and peppery, 84.2. A39, maple syrup and hickory smoke, 85.3. A4, herbal and funky, 86.8. A40, straight spice and caramel, 91.8. A41, grapefruit, honey, marzipan, fig, and nutter butter, 92. A42, dirt and donut, weird notes, but I like it, 88.1. A5, chocolate syrup plus hickory, 90.6. A6, Play-Doh. What I thought was a disaster on the nose turned out to be all right. Demonstrates some nice sweetness, 85.3. A7, very oaky at first, then some rice notes, fried rice and vanilla, 81. A8, cotton candy, weed. You know what I'm talking about, a little weed up in here. Dill and oregano, but definitely a little ganja, 84.2. 89, complex and layered and rock candy, mint and caramel, 93.1. Look, believe me, I know this is boring, me just reading this shit off, but I can't taste 100 of them like I did last year. I might pass out. I don't want to pass out. So I had to do it throughout the week. Double A, we're going to a different numbering system here now. Double A, peach, pie crust, New Mexico red chili, 89.9. B, spice and fig, 85. B1, mossy, apple, chewing gum, and Tootsie Roll. B10, huge expression of rye like a beautiful rye muffin, 87.7. B2, oak, earth, and caramel, tastes like a 1970s band, 89.4. 89.4 on B2. B3, grainy but in a good way, lovely piece of toast buttered with strawberry. B4, B3 was 88. All right, I'm just going to get to score so we can get to it. I'll have notes up on the final. Again, all the final count will be the official count on next couple days. We doing okay? Everything good? Okay, graphic wise and everything. Yep. All right. B4 94.1. B5 91.8. B6 93.5. B7 90.7. I said rich and creamy on that one. Tapioca pudding. I love that. B8 95.3. B9 nutmeg was my only note. 87.1. BB, light corn, rye, big league chew, little tobacco, 86. C, sourdough toast, cinnamon, 86.8. CC, big molasses, 90. D, grassy, 87.1. DD, mushroom, licorice, herbs, 81.2. E, this may have been my highest score. Dirty caramel and orange, 96. You'd think with my highest score, I'd have given something a little bit more sexier than dirty caramel. What the fuck's wrong with me? Double E, sweet and earthy, butterscotch, piece of brie, 83.5. F, Nutter Butter, Cinnamon Red Hots, 90. Double F, 92.3. G, 95. Double G, 86.1. H, 86.1. Two 86.1s, back to back. Double H, 89.9. I, 92.1. Double I, chocolate, hazelnut, herbal, spicy, 91.7. Double J, peppermint, fruit, chocolate, covered raisin, 90. K, nutmeg, caramel, vanilla, 92. KK, huckleberry, magberry, which, if you are from the state of Oregon, what is the berry there that you all have? Is it magberry? I feel like it's magberry or mugberry or mudberry. I don't remember, but I remember wanting to look that up. I forgot to look it up. But it's a real kind of funky berry. 90.7 on KK. L, herbal grass, vanilla, 84.1. Double L, smoke, anise, burnt ends, hickory, and fried something, 79.8. M, rich apple muffin, rye bread, 88.2. Double M, 88.6. N, smoke, marshmallow, popcorn, 80. Double N, 91.6. O, 92.1. Double O, 86.2. P, 79.9. Double P, 85.1. Q, 95.6. QQ, 91.1. R, pepper, citrus, maple syrup, honey, 89.9. Double R, 89.7. S, no, double R, I'm sorry. Double R was 94. S was 89.7. Double S, cornbread, pepper, honey, buttered biscuit, 96.1. I think that's the highest score so far. T, caramel balm with hints of peppermint and cinnamon, 96. Double T, 92.2. U, 91.2. W, 91.9. V, 94.8. Double V, Blackberries, Hatch Chili, 90.3. W, Earthy Fig Pepper, 89.8. Double W, Nutmeg Nougats, Apricots, 88.7. X, 96.1. Marzipan. Double X, Dunkin' Funk is what I wrote. Caramel. Yeah. 85.3. Y, Nose of Play-Doh, Palette of Caramel. It's strange, but it works. 84. Double Y, 92.3. Z, 90.1. And double Z, 90.1. So, that was the scoring of them. Go ahead and run the ticker. The ticker is how they fell out. And now I'm going to read to you what did make the top 25 and what I will taste now. Is the ticker going?
Yep.
We got the ticker? Good. All right. So this is what made the top 25. And
You want me to display the top 25?
what's that?
You want me to display the graphic for top 25?
Let's do it. Wait till I start tasting to display the graphic of that. Yeah. This is because we have different letters. So these are in the last week, I tasted these and scored them. The scoring was meant to get us a chunk for kind of like, we're in the college football playoff season or, and that was meant to give me a chunk of 25 that I could have a taste off for. Okay, so that's what we have here. We're gonna have a taste off of 25. So no matter what the score was from the previous tasting, it does not matter. What matters now is how it does in this ranking, in this tasting here. So you can dismiss the scores entirely. I'm still gonna give them to you once again, but you can dismiss them. And Gary Penna in the chat has what every one of these are, okay? And you're going to see what they changed the letter. As you can see, there are different letters up here on the glass. You're gonna see them as I'm tasting them, and you're gonna have a graphic that I cannot see. You're gonna have a graphic of what I am tasting, what I'm tasting. Right now, you're gonna see the ticker of what the 103 to 26 is. And keep in mind, I have not seen this. I have not proved it. So when it comes, when I publish it on fredminnick.com, that will be the final. So that will be right now. I'm just not set up. I don't have a full team editorially wise to get that set up in advance like that. So when I publish it on my website, that's when it will be final. Okay, so X, X. Here's your glasses that came in. X with a score of 96.1, SS with a 96.1, E with a 96, T with a 96, A20 with 95.8, Q 95.6, A1 95.4, B8 95.3, A26 95.2, G 95, V 94.8, A29 94.1, B4 94.1, A14 94, RR 94, A25 93.5, B6 93.5, A36 93.4, and A9 93.1, A32 92.9, A19 92.9, A30, 92.6, double Y, 92.3, and double F, 92.3, double T, 92.2. So you can see that it's that bottom 10 very close in margin. So we're gonna get to it. Are you all seeing the chat? Can you all? Is there any questions that come through that maybe you can ask me as I kind of get prepped here?
No. Some of the people wanted a graphic for that.
They just complaining they wanted a graphic. Yeah, Michael, why wasn't there a graphic?
Someone asked what if there was a 10-way tie.
What if there's a 10-way tie? Fortunately, I'm the tiebreaker. So that'll work out. All right, so feel free. I'm gonna thank some people. See if you can find a couple questions in there. If you've got a question, ask a question. I'm gonna thank some people, and while I thank them, they'll find the question and flag it and ask me. So I want to say a big thanks to the Bluestones, an awesome blues band I love out of Canada. They just released a new song. You got to hear a little teaser of that in the intro, and you'll be hearing little snippets of it here and there as I take breaks. Big shout out to them for that, and go check out the Bluestones music. They are awesome, great band. Big fan of them. I've done some live streams with them before. You can check out. They've been on the Fred Minnick show before, so we had some good conversations. They were both wearing the same like sunglasses. It was kind of like, I was like, oh, is that your thing? And also want to thank my friend Sid Eline from Eline Realty for hosting us tonight. So like my space has grown to the point where I can't fit anymore from a production standpoint. So he has this awesome bar. I was like, man, this is just like my backdrop. So we'll just, can I borrow it? And he's like, let me use it. So if you're in Louisville looking for a place to go check out, hit up Sid Eline Realty. They're the oldest real estate company in the city. So make sure you check them out. Also, I got a couple promos for you all too. So the glassware that I'm using tonight, it's called Whiskey. You can get $20 off any purchase on Whiskey glassware. Just use the code Fred20 at checkout. And there's going to be graphics coming up. I've got a Baxis code too that gets you free shipping. You can go to Baxis.co. They got all kinds of really cool rare bottles there at Baxis.co. You get free shipping from Baxis on that. So you'll be seeing those promos pop up. What is the promo code from Baxis? It's Fred's
Free Ship 10.
Fred's Free Ship 10. Not to be confused with a different word with Fred's Free something. Fred's Free Ship 10. That's the code?
The graphics up right now.
Yeah, graphics up. So you take advantage of those, save some money, get some free shipping, and let's get to it. We got some questions?
Yes.
All right, what do we got?
How do you not blow out your palate while doing so many samples, and what's the secret to keep teasing out the nuances?
How do I not blow out my palate? Who asked that?
Rocket Boy Ty.
Rocket. All right, Rocket Boy Ty. All right, thank you for the question. Great question. I do a lot of prep, and I think the main thing is you got to stay hydrated. I drink a lot of coconut water. I also eat a lot of lamb. Like lamb helps me process all this, and I've been doing it a long time. And if you are used to like competition style tastings, you get yourself in a very different tasting mindset than if you're drinking. If you're out with your buddies, you're passing out, falling out in the ditch, your pants are falling off. This is not something you can do if you're just hanging out with your buddies. You gotta also not be afraid to spit. I realize this is not a popular thing a lot of times, but when you're a professional and you have to taste 100, 25, 100, 30, 40, and you don't spit, you will not last in this industry. This is not a This is a place where a lot of people come and have fun and have hobbies, and that's awesome. But to be a professional taster, you have to spit. Otherwise, there's no way you can ever, it's the same in wine, there's no way you could ever taste through a region of France or Italy and compare it to Spain. It wouldn't happen. It's the same in whiskey. There's no way you can taste through an entire portfolio of a distillery and then go to the next distillery, taste through an entire portfolio of that distillery, and then go to the next distillery. You'd be falling over as you walked in. So you have to know your palate. You have to understand how your palate reacts to a finish. So you have to, spitting is so important for a professional taster. So it doesn't look cool, doesn't sound cool, but you don't pass out drunk. So there's that. That's cool. Next question.
Bradley is asking, is there still rumors of a white oak shortage? And if so, what's going to be done to address it?
Oh boy, that's a good one. Bradley getting deep on up in here. He's asking about the white oak shortage that comes up here and there. There's definitely, I would say the distilling industry does more to address the white oak shortage than the construction industry does, than our own government. I mean, you've got people like Angel's Envy and Brown Foreman, Maker's Mark, finding ways to plant trees. You've got the largest cooperage company in the Independent Stave Company being very selective with how they use trees to harvest. I would say that the greatest ally for any kind of white oak shortage is indeed the distilling industry, because they want conservation. The problem is not the distilling industry. It's these shopping malls. It's clear cutting to create new roads, and anytime you bring up any opposition to that, it's like, well, you're impeding progress, and we need to have this fine Nike store over here because more taxes and revenue for our fine county. Yeah, don't get me started. Next one. Got another good question there?
Yeah, Tim wants to know, what were some of your most disappointing bourbons of the year?
The most disappointing, Tim wanted to know the most disappointing bourbons for me this year. It was the Old Fitzgerald Decanter series. That tasted just awful this year. Like they were like bottom shelf times 2. They were bad, like flawed bad. There was something really wrong with them. So that's an easy one for me. The old Fitzgerald Decanter line. All right.
They want to know, do you have any live events coming up?
Do I have any live events coming up? As a matter of fact, I do. I've got an event at the Super Bowl, like in New Orleans, the Friday before Super Bowl, big game week. It's called Fred Minnick Live. It's presented by the New Orleans Bourbon Festival. And it's pretty awesome because we're at the main hotel for like the NFL, and it's the Friday before the Super Bowl, and it's going to be Dierks Bentley is opening up, or he's not opening up. He's playing there. So Dierks Bentley's going to be there. He's going to be playing in a very intimate setting, and Danny Rose, who was just on Yellowstone, is going to be playing there as well. And there's going to be this incredible whiskey lineup that, from Leaper's Fork to Michter's, K-Luke's going to be there, Smoke Wagon's going to be there. The VIP ticket's going to have some really rare whiskeys. So you can find out about that. You can go to fredminnick.com, check that out. And you can also go to our ticket provider, which is etix.com. And just search for Fred Minnick Live or Bourbon or New Orleans Big Game, something like that. So, yeah, I'm not very good about talking about my shit. And then I have another one in Louisiana, in Baton Rouge, at a casino there in April. So I got 2 events coming up in Louisiana. All right, shall we do this? Can I take a break real quick? We're gonna hit the head. Let me hit the head real quick. So I'm gonna. I'll be right back. And what's that?
Let's listen to the song.
go listen to the song. Going to listen to the song from Bluestones, and just a little bit of it, and I'll be right back.
Tell you what isn't crazy. A rabbit dog and a chain link fence. Good God, it's amazing. Good God, it's just common sense. Kept the beast so silent. Hands tight and a neck collar tight. Why ask for anything when I know I'll take it? Took a very long walk down a street that I hate. Man, nothing has changed. Been folding my clothes in irregular ways, kinda like the new shapes. My coffee's lace. Bye 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 da, hey. Yeah, I put the fear in your master. Hey. Yeah, I put the devil to shame. Hey. Yeah, I put the fear in your master. Hey. Taste the blood in your mouth when you mention my name. I swear to God, the fire's not wearing out. And I swear to God, the fire's not wearing I put the fear in your master. Hey. Taste the blood in your mouth when you mention my name.
And we're back. All right. Hey, big shout out to Bluestones, y'all. Make sure you check out the Bluestones. It's an awesome band. They just dropped that single actually, so it is good. And I love that. What'd you call that pedal, Michael?
Fuzz Factory.
The Fuzz Factory pedal.
That's what it sounds like to me.
It sounds like the Fuzz Factory pedal. I know nothing about music. I just love me some Fuzz Factory pedal. That sounded good. So go check out the Bluestones, and big thanks to them for allowing me to play their music tonight. Okay, when I know, by the way, I know the big bourbon fans, so they're probably wanting to find out what wins tonight, and I am too. So let's get to it. We'll start with Glass A. You should see a graphic now of the flight. So this is what I am tasting. You'll see here, big giant letter of every glass I'm tasting. This is the whiskey glass that I'm using again. This is the glass that is supporting the Fred Minnick show. So this is the glass that I am using here tonight. And I got to tell you, I've had a lot of friends tell me how much they like this glass. I love it. It's weighty, It's good, and I am excited to get to it. All right, here we go. So glass A, tasting of the night. First tasting of the night. All right, so we got some pear, apricot, a little pepper. Here we are, the first taste. Oh man. Add some hatch chili notes to that. A little banana bread. Now I'm writing here on my little sheet of paper, my chicken scratch, kind of my shorthand of my thoughts and everything. Glacé, pear, apricot, pepper, hatch chili, banana bread. And I got my 4 little arrows up. This is gonna help me when I get down to taste a little deeper. That's gonna help me determine whether or not I wanna retaste it and kind of where it sits with the other brands. And of course, again, thank you to the support team I have. My wife, Jacqueline, love her more than the world. She managed the pouring today. My friend Eric Carrico managed all the intricacies of what I was tasting when and all that. And my friend Sid Eline is providing us his place and his fine high-speed internet access. Okay. All right, so we're going to a different little kind of style here. Going with some smoke on up in here. A little cherry. Oh. Maple syrup. I feel like that teacher in the Christmas Story who's doing like A+ when she's talking about Ralphie's essay. I want to do like maple syrup. But I wouldn't do that because that'd just be weird. And referencing a kid's, Christmas movie here, probably weird in itself. But hey, I'm a weird guy. All right, let's go to glass C. Okay, the nose on C ain't like B or A. It's not as big and jumping out. But palate-wise, brown sugar. Sugar. I don't know if they know I can hear them out there. We got a bit of an audience next door. I think they might be tilting it back a little bit. I have to tell them we can hear them. Can we hear them on the mic? Can they hear?
I don't know. I don't think so.
All right. If you all can hear the rowdiness going on over there, I mean, they just saw what looked to be like a you know, an arms dealer walk in. I think it was just drugs, though. I don't think there were any weapons. All right, Glass D. You ever met an arms dealer, Michael?
No.
No? They're just normal people that sell guns illegally. So, I really like D, but this is kind of where, like, you get into a tasting and you're like, D's really good, it's really solid. I don't know if it has the horses to compete with A, but it's just a really good, I mean, D is like something that you would want to drink every day. Leading note here on that one would be walnuts, real nutty, almost like a Derby pie. Let's go to Glass E. Oh, this is good. Spicy. Like a nutter butter note to it. And just like a little hint of like pumpkin pie. And it's kind of one of those too where, you know, when I taste D, you know, D and E I think could be, they're in that category of they very much deserve to be here, but I don't know if they're in the league of like A and B, even C, you know? So let's go to Glass F. Oh man. F is a hitter. Vanilla. Caramel. Huh. What is that? I might just drink this all the way. I want to say tapioca pudding. A little bit of spice there too. We go to G. And y'all, I'm going to probably take a break around I. So if there are some questions you want to flag to ask me, that'd be awesome. I'm going to need a little bit of a air break. Ooh. Okay, so G, need to taste it one more time because it's so complex. Like this is one where, you know, we talk about like, can spitting have an impact on your tasting in a flight? You have to know when it can, and I think it does. This one needs to be for a little longer. This is pretty complex, and I just want to make sure that I'm getting it right. This is incredibly complex. I find G to be, it touches every part of my tongue, and it's delivering a lot of the classic notes that you want in American whiskey. Caramel, spice, and some like some additional notes, like maybe some fig. So G's definitely a contender. And that's going to get on up in here. All right, let's go to H. A little creme brulee action. Jalapeno. And let's say cornbread. All right, it's gonna be the last one before I take some questions. Glass eye. Woo! Damn, that's got a nose on it. You know, if this was a nosing contest, I just might win the whole damn thing. But you can't drink through your nose. I mean, you could. It'd be weird. So we're going to say cinnamon, nutmeg, like some parsley, some herbs. This is weird, but I like weird. It's weird in a good way. I don't know if it's going to have enough to go to that next level, but eye is very interesting, and then it's got a lot of the flavors that I like. But this is the elite of the elite right here, and I don't think it's going to have the power to go forward. I'm going to do one thing before I take a question, y'all. I'm going to taste A again, just to make sure that I didn't have a first taste. You know. Oh yeah, no. No, that's legit. That's legit. A's legit. Okay, let's go to some questions.
Bourbon just wants to know what you're most excited for in 2025. I'm assuming.
The bourbon I'm most excited for in 2025? I'm probably, well, the thing about it is brands don't really tell you about what they have in the pipeline. They just kind of release them, you know, when they're ready. I think I'm probably most excited about like a small distiller's bottled and bond, you know, like a 4-6-year-old, you know, small distiller like 10th Mountain or 10th Street or St. Augustine, releasing something that just wows me. Like to say that I love supporting the small craft distillers is an understatement. But I can't just support them on like, oh, you're small, I like you. I can't do that. Like the whiskey's got to be there. And when it's there, and you'll never find a bigger fan than me and smaller distillers. So I think that's a good question.
Ari wants to know what you did to prepare your palate for the evening.
Ari wants to know what I did to prepare my palate for the evening. I ate a lot of lamb, and I drank a lot of coconut water. And I hit the sauna, and I worked out. And I think a lot of it, too, is like what I didn't do. Like Fridays, I normally go to jiu-jitsu, but I didn't want to take a chance of my, getting choked so hard that my throat popped, and I couldn't taste. So I didn't do that. I didn't go to jiu-jitsu.
Steven wants to know if you will post your lamb recipe.
Steven wants to know if I'll post my lamb recipe. Yeah, it's real simple, man. Salt and pepper, olive oil, salt and pepper. I'm a pretty basic guy. Like meat is not something that I fuck around with too much. Like I like a good rub on stuff. Apologies for my cussing, but I like a rub on a big leg. Like if I'm like slow smoking a leg of lamb, I'll give it a good rub. But when it comes to like most of my lamb, it's just salt and pepper, olive oil, maybe some garlic.
Andrew wants to know, have you had Ula from Wartburg Distillery in Seattle?
Andrew wants to know if I've had Ula from
Wartburg Distillery.
From Lumberg?
Wartburg.
Given that I'm doing the Wartburger, the answer is no. I haven't had that yet. At least I don't think I've had it. I don't think I've had it.
Well,
Let-
I want to know how you take your coffee.
I take my coffee black. That's black. I like my coffee black. No sugar or cream, just black.
Any exciting marzipan picks coming in 2025?
Are there any exciting marzipan member picks? Yes. We have a Russell's pick coming up, Smoke Wagon pick. We have a Chattanooga whiskey pick. And we're going to do Sugarlands and then go to Chattanooga. And then we're going to have a Bardstown Bourbon Company pick. We're going to do another Sleeper's Fork pick. We'll do another Green River pick, a Bardstown Bourbon Company pick, and a Green River pick. Another one of those. And all of them. But I always tell everyone, Club Marzipan's not about barrel picks. Like, that's a nice added bonus of what we do. But it's really about the community and the education and the camaraderie. Like if you want to join a club for barrel picks, we're probably not the right club. We're more about education and getting to love whiskey a little bit more, a little deeper. And frankly, I created Club Marzipan because I felt like I was losing my outlets to just talk and geek out about whiskey. And most people just want to know if I like something. Even when I'm sitting down with like celebrities, they don't really want to learn. They're just like, well, do you like it? And then, like, yeah, I like it. I don't like it. There's nothing wrong with that. I just have a personal need to be able to talk about President Taft from time to time. Which, if you know why President Taft is important for all of us in bourbon, put it in the chat and educate folks. All right, we got another question?
The Whiskey Reaper wants to know why Jack Daniels didn't just pay you to at least get on the list.
Whiskey Reefer wants to know why Jack Daniels didn't pay me to get on the list. Well, no one paid me to get on here. And so there's that. They actually had, so Coy Hill would be on the list if it was not a single barrel. So single barrels are not eligible to be on the list. And that will be in my whiskey, that'll be on my single barrel taste off that I do later to choose my single barrel of the year. So Coy Hill is in the running for best single barrel, but yeah, there's, everyone liked the 10 and 12. I didn't find them to be appealing this year. But generally, Jack Daniels is a great brand. They've been on the list a shit ton of times. So, yeah.
Verver wants to know, are you optimistic about the state of bourbon at large?
Verver?
Verver.
Great name, Verver. He wants to know if I am optimistic about the state of whiskey at large. I think I'm a realist in a lot of ways. I'm a realist. And it's funny. I've been having conversations with a really good friend of mine. His name is Dr. Brandon Mason. He's a former All-American wrestler at Oklahoma State, and I'm always hitting him up about wrestling. And I have these thoughts and aspirations of how my favorite wrestlers and teams will do, and he just tears me apart and breaks it down. He's like, I'm a realist, and there's no better truth serum than wrestling and athletics. Dreams happen, but it's 0.2%. You just win because you're better. But anyway, there's been some downturns, and my point is to share that story. Is there's been some really significant downturns, but there's also been some upside. The upside is I walked into a store the other day and I bought a bottle of Remus Repeal 8 and then Knob Creek 18-year-old. The last time I didn't see those things behind the case was I for a long time I've been one of those, it's bad for the industry when the industry's bad, but I've kind of so tired of a lot of the games that the distillers play that I genuinely am as perturbed as many people are about finding products. So when I saw those two products in the store, I was jumping up and down. I was like, holy shit, I just got a fucking bottle of Remus 8 and Knob Creek 18-year. So from a consumer perspective, I think there's a lot to be thankful for and excited about. What we cannot lose focus on is that we have to support the smaller companies that sometimes ask for a little bit more money, and you're going to see them on this list. I try to reward the ones that I really think are doing it right, like Union Horse out of Kansas, 291 out of Colorado, Boulder out of Colorado, Kings County in New York. Those are small guys that don't have the budgets for marketing. So it's on us in a lot of ways to support smaller companies we want to see survive. But the fact is, the next generation doesn't drink like we did. They just don't. They smoke weed. And when they do drink, they drink something that's a higher premium. So when I said there's a lot of positives, the higher premiums are the positives. The higher premiums are doing well. The super premiums are doing well. It's the in-between that's but I also think we're seeing the end of people just trying to make money off of bourbon. That's really what's happening right now. The hedge fund guys, the people that just, this is part of a portfolio to make money, they're getting out of bourbon. The people who are in bourbon are passionate about it. So from a positive perspective, I think we're about to see a lot of great American whiskey blends. And if you are a fan of American whiskey, I think the next 10 years are going to be absolutely fantastic for you. As consumers, let's move away from the business perspective. Let's sit down in the consumer seat. I think where the next 10 years is going to be a great run for whiskey, because Americans are finally learning how to blend. Just going to say it. Okay. All right. Now let's get back to it. Thanks for reading those off, by the way. All right. Let's go to Glass J. Go to Glass J. Woo! You want to talk about some oatmeal or something like that. This is got some kind of a little pot of oatmeal going on. Some sugar. Sugar, brown sugar. Wow. This is fantastic. Ooh. I love the way this feels on my tongue. It's all mouth coating, curls up underneath the jawline. It's beautiful. I think Jake could be a contender. We'll see where it finishes, but damn, that's good. Glass K. By the way, how many we got watching right now?
2079.
All right. That's pretty good. I think that data just shows YouTube and Twitter. But we've got, we're streaming on LinkedIn. You know that? We can do that now? Yeah? So right now there's somebody trying to sell me Amway on LinkedIn from watching this. Do they still have Amway?
I think.
Yeah, Prime. Yeah, Prime stuff. Good laundry detergent, though. All right, Kay. Kay's got a nice little like an agave spirit, or like not agave, but agave like agave syrup, and then like some raisins, granola. Don't think Kay's going to have the horses to go forward, but we'll find out. Glass L. Oh my God. Rich, layered, complex. Glass L is a caramel bomb, but it also has like this lemon cookie note to it, which my wife loves lemon cookies, so I like lemon cookies too, and yeah, it's really good. Glass M. A little grainy, but grainy in the sense that it's probably like a kind bar, you know, versus like corn on the cob. I guess that'd be more oat and molasses. But you ever had a kind bar? This has got like a note of a kind bar. Which I met the CEO of Kind Bar once. Really nice guy. They hired me for a private tasting. I was like, man, I eat your bars all the time. He said, well, thank you. Thank you very much for that. Glass N. By the way, I could use another water if you all get a chance. Like, you know, they'll hear it out there, and they're drinking up like a motherfucker out there. Damn. Jack, she knows she's driving home? She think I'm driving? Damn, baby. I guess we're Ubering. Okay, so here we go. In. Damn. And as a brown sugar bomb. Little pecan pie there. But basically everything I'm tasting in this is going straight to my hips and making me feel like I'm about to gain 30 pounds. It tastes friggin' sweet and luscious and delicious. This is not gonna be easy, Michael. I got a hard job to do. Yeah, that's the thing about this tasting. When I started doing it, I was like, you know what? I was gonna originally do like 10, then it was 25. Then I was like, but I like this brand, I like that brand. Oh, fuck it, I'll do 100, like the Billboard Top 100. And now, I think I actually tasted 106 or 100, I think it tasted 106 for this year's Top 100. I seriously think I might have some problems because I just keep adding more and more and more. Next year it'll be 200. Oh, no, it will not be 200. I can't do 200. Okay, so this nose. Now, I gotta tell you, this nose disappoints me. It's coming in a little varnishy, And sometimes a nose can not smell like you want, and then you taste it and you're like, okay, the taste is what matters here. But if we were scoring on nose alone, this would not do it. Yeah. That's intense, all right. So the nose is very off-putting. It smells like varnish. It smells like plastic. And then I taste it, and it's like layered with fruit pie notes. And there's no flaws on the palate. And so as a taster, you're like, what do I do with this? Obviously it's here. I liked it. I still like it. But the nose was so off-putting. Let me smell it again. It's still, the nose is not doing it for me. This nose is not saying like it's at that level, I can't get over the fruit pie note. It's nice, but I can't get over the nose. The palate is fantastic. There's this nice, multi-fruit pie, say cherry, apple, pear, peach. Just throw it all in there. It's like a free-for-all. And like a nice little pie crust. With some cinnamon over top. Let's just say that for argument's sake, that's what it is. That's not going to overpower the bad nose. And I gotta say that I can't get past the bad nose. I'm just gonna smell it again. Yeah, I just can't get past it. Sometimes and I tweeted this recently, sometimes when you get like bad noses, It's, it's a cork issue. It's a bottle issue. You just never know. I'll take some questions around U or no T. So let's get some, have some. All right, so P is pretty dynamic. It is pretty damn dynamic. I want to say it's kind of like a nutmeg superhighway. I like nutmeg. Like, I'll put nutmeg on a lot of stuff. But for me, nutmeg always comes down to like Thanksgiving. And glass pea tastes like a Thanksgiving meal. You got your cranberries, you got your stuffing, you got your pumpkin pie. This don't taste like turkey, but pea reminds me of Thanksgiving. Thank you, sir. Sit, Eli, bringing me water. Thank you, brother. All right, so now we're going to go to Q. Oh. I think the last couple, I've been waiting on Q. Smells good. Wow. It's gonna sound weird, but when I was in Iraq, we used to have these Turkish cooks in our mess hall that made this little Turkish dessert. It wasn't baklava or I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was, but this takes me back in a pleasant way to Iraq and the dining facility where those Turkish cooks were making these really crazy good, there were raisins in them, there were nuts in them, and I remember pine nuts. There were pine nuts in them because I love pine nuts, and there was like a real flaky crust around. It was I don't know. I've always just called it like the Turkish dessert when I've ever referred to it, but that's what Q tastes like. And let me tell you, that dessert would rank in my top 5 desserts of all time, and I've never been able to find it. Of course, I haven't been back to Turkey. Certainly not been back to Iraq. Probably won't ever go there. Probably won't ever go back there. It's interesting, someone brought up Jack Daniels earlier. They do the honor flight where they take people back to places that are of significance to them. I was invited on one of those. I couldn't make it, and I've thought about it. Like, would I ever want to go back to the place where I was in country? And I've thought about that a lot, and I just don't know if that part of the world will will ever fit. You know, I don't know if it'll ever be peaceful where we can just roam about. It breaks my heart because it's a beautiful, beautiful country, you know, truly historic in so many ways. And I just, you know what, I shouldn't be talking about this. I should get back to tasting. Well, so I'm writing Turkish dessert that will make no sense to anybody but me. All right, let's go to glass R. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 after that. See, this is like a cinnamon bread. With some apple notes here. I mean, it's nice. I just think R is in. I think R is at a disadvantage for being at this place in the tasting. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna come back to R. I'm gonna go ahead and take some questions. I feel like that last one kind of really shook me a little bit, and I need to refocus a little bit. So let's go ahead and take some questions, Michael. Go ahead.
Bourbon Eye.
Bourbon Eye, all right.
Wants to know handshake or hug with your fans?
Handshake or hug with my fans? Well, you know, I did have someone want to shake my hand in the bathroom once. That was awkward. I'm kind of whatever, but I'm not a fan of getting in people's spaces, and I don't like people getting in my space, you know? So, like, my big thing is just do not touch me from behind. If you touch me from behind, like, there's an instinct there where I don't like someone touching me where I can't see them. Like that, and I don't know if that's from the military or what. I don't know, but I just don't like being touched when I can't see you. So I don't care. Like I'll hug you. I'll shake your hand. Just if it's in the bathroom, can we wait until we're out of the bathroom? That's my only thing. That was awkward, Michael. That was awkward. You were on that trip. That was the Washington trip.
Oh, yeah.
Did I tell you about that?
I don't think so.
No, maybe I was ashamed. I don't know.
The barefoot guy in the gym.
Oh, yeah, the barefoot guy. Yeah, that kept. Yeah, he had gross toes, hairy, nasty, fangly toes. All right, next question.
Michael wants to know, why do most craft distillers have that odd crafty flavor?
Michael wants to know why. Does he have a mic, by the way? No. Okay. Okay. So you're just all right. So I have to repeat it. So Michael wants to know why most craft distillers have, quote, kind of like a craft note. There's a couple really good reasons why. One, man, it takes a lot of experience to get things down, and you got to have the right chemistry. And it usually comes down to fermentation. People often point toward distillation or bad barrels or whatever, but really, it's a combination of all of it. And I think fermentation is like the first place you kind of screw up. they cook something too quick, they ferment something too long or too short, and the grains just don't come in all the way. And they also tend to buy sack grains versus like from a truck. And so like if you get sack grains, not always the case, but you can tend to have a little mold in those in the grains that are coming from sacks, which I'm talking about bags, versus like something that's not far from the farm, pretty and shucked. So I think that's a big part of it. That's my opinion anyway. But it comes down to experience and such, and quality grains a lot of times.
Out Yonder wants to know if you've had Dark Arts. They have some of the same bottles.
Oh yeah, no, Dark Arts is awesome. So Down Yonder or Out Yonder, what's the name? Down Yonder?
Out Yonder.
Out Yonder said that Dark Arts, Dark Arts is great. I love Dark Arts. The stuff I've had from them have been like barrel picks and single barrels. Like I've had a lot of stuff from them that's just fantastic. Yeah.
Bourbonite again wants to know what your favorite move is when rolling.
My favorite move when rolling? Well, my favorite move when rolling is mostly not to get killed. I feel like I suck. So, I'm just trying to not get, I've been choked 7 ways from Sunday. So that's my favorite move, is not to get choked. If I can go through a roll with not submitting, which I've had 2 classes where I didn't tap. And, but on the submission side and the gi, the paper cutter choke, I'm very effective with that. And no gi, probably the Kimura. Like I get a lot of Kimuras and no gi. But let's be clear, I suck. I'm not any good.
Chris wants to know if there's any good whiskeys still using the rapid aging process.
Are there any good whiskeys? Chris wants to know, are there any good whiskeys still using the rapid aging process? Well, I think if we define the rapid aging process as like shaking like a barrel, like a paint can, the answer would be no. But there have been some advents or some inventions that have come about that have been adopted by larger distillers. And they are using like, it's not rapid aging. I would say it would be like a high level filtration prior to bottling, where they're able to like pluck out any higher alcohols. And that's always been the intent of a lot of rapid aging techniques. But I think there's finally one out there that's getting into the distilleries, but it is not couched as rapid aging. It's couched as like filtration.
A few people have asked something along the lines of, are you ever fairly certain what something is, or are you ever tempted to make guesses?
The question was like, am I fairly certain of what things are, or do I ever want to take guesses? If you are tasting blind, and you start trying to think of what a product is, you can find yourself in a complete focus of what is the product versus how does it taste. And as you can see, even tonight, I'm struggling coming through with some notes on some of them. And it's not because I'm struggling to feel it on my palate. I'm struggling to say it. Imagine if I started to also say, well, I think that could be Jim Beam bonded. If I add another layer to me trying to figure out what is in the glass, I'm going to miss what the tasting notes are and the score. And then I'm going to start thinking of maybe subconsciously, do I really actually like Jim Beam bonded? Is it really the right thing for me? Then I start basing it on, is it Jim Beam bonded? So if you come into a blind tasting with the sole purpose of trying to select what the product is, try to figure that out. But if you go into a blind tasting because you want to find out if glass I is better than R and X and A, then that's what you do. But you cannot muddy the two. At least I can't. I'm not a good enough taster where I can say, oh, well, you know what? This is Jim Beam bonded, and it tastes like this, this, and this, and then and then taste 100 things later, and still be able to identify what every one of those are. Like, so you've got to be careful. You're either ranking them or you're trying to figure out what they are. I personally cannot do both, and I'm sure there are many people who out there who can do both. But I would love to taste with them over 100, 200 spirits and see how they do around 250. Last one for this round.
Last one. William really wants to know what you think about the future of Old Carter.
William wants to know what I think the future of Old Carter is. Of course, Old Carter, Mark Carter just got acquired or bought. It went up to auction. Mark and Sherry Carter got divorced, and as a part of their settlement, they had to put the. I don't fully understand it, but they had to put the distillery up on the auction block, and Mark Carter bought it, but I don't know if it was like her shares. But anyway, she's out. She's no longer a part of the distillery. She was a big part of it, helped get it going, was great, and she was in wine before, and I have no doubt we're going to see Sherry Carter do something awesome. But the people who are with Mark, I know extremely well. Jared Hyman, who used to actually wrestle for the University of for American, and has been a long time like bourbon hunter out there, and Bill Thomas, who is the founder and runs Jack Rose in Washington D.C. Great partners to have in the whiskey business, and there's a couple other people in there that I think are part of the money, but I don't know them. I think the future is bright there because you have some high level industry insiders. I would say Bill Thomas coming to be a part of a brand is the equivalent of me joining a brand. Honestly, like he is. I actually think of him much higher than he would ever think of himself. But Bill Thomas is amazing. So is Jared. Got a hell of a grip, that motherfucker. All right, so let's go to glass. I'm gonna go back to glass R. Like I was saying, like you may have seen it when I started talking about like Iraq and everything. I don't think I was disassociating, but I kind of felt myself like, you know what? I was going back to that place. Need to get out of that. So let me go back to glass R and taste. So I'm staying with the cinnamon bread, apple. I'm going to add some pepper spice. This is really good, and my tongue is burning from it. It's so spicy. I'm going to say, we're going to give that 3 arrows up. So I don't know where that's going to finish, but I've only given 2 4 arrows so far. So I would say that's going to bring it in there. So, glass S. This is so good, Michael. I might need to be alone with S for a minute. This has got the marzipan note, y'all. Marzipan, molasses. Banana. Oh, hey. Are you all taking pictures of my notes?
We're
You got a thing of the notes? Hey, get that one real quick.
Let's see. Oh. Okay.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. All right. Yo, I like Michael. That's why I did that. That was not meant for the viewing public. My apologies. That was for Michael. Oh. Oh. Yeah, S is really good. Let's go to T. All right, so T feels a little like what was the one earlier that I had some issues with the nose? There was one earlier that I had some problems with the nose. I was like, yeah, the nose is. I think it was M. Might have been M. Yeah, I don't know. But T's got a nose that does not follow S by any means. Yeah, I mean it's light. It's lighter than what I've been tasting. There's like a bread. It's like very bready. I don't know, man. I think T might be number 25 tonight. Okay, let's go to glass U. There we go. Okay. So this is layered. It's got some really, really nice like nougat. Like you get like candy bar nougat, and like I'm just thinking like a Snickers bar or like 1,000 gram bar. Was it 1,000 gram bar? Or you know, one of those like candy bars with like big rich filling. All right. I've got 3 more after the V. A little bitter, like a bittersweet chocolate. A little oak. V's actually really refreshing because a lot of these have like followed a trend of sweeter styles, fruit styles, little nutmeg here, little marzipan there, but this one is all up in the on the tobacco side. I like that. Let's go to glass W. Banana. Big banana. A little cherry. Not really sure what that next thing is. Only one way to find out. So when I finish these two, we'll do some more questions. So if you guys got some questions, bring them in. It's earthy. It's like earthy. You know, maybe like a there's like a spice there. You know, I mean, I'm trying to break W down, but I don't feel like W is going anywhere. I don't think it's getting out of that out of the first flight. But so it's so interesting. I'd like to spend more time with it as a taster on W, but to be honest with you, it's not going to win this flight. It's not going to do. It's probably not going to be in the top 10. So that's one of the other things you got to be like careful about. Is like you get intrigued about something. You're like you keep tasting. You're like, I'm wasting palate time on something, and it's not going to win. It's not going to go that next flight. So I got to be judicious, if you will, because you know this tongue ain't taking all that. Like I can't keep tasting. It's part of it. All right, so let's go to X, which what marks the spot. Honey, a lot of honey, very honey, like sticking my tongue all up in like a beehive honey. I don't think that's a good idea though. Pretty sure I get the shit stung out of me. But if I were to stick my tongue up a beehive, this is what I imagine it would taste like. Right here. It's gonna say honey bomb. All right, let's go to glass Y, and then so this is it. This is the last of the flight, and then we'll do some questions after that. Sound good? Woo! Little funk going up in here. Who's got the funk? Oh, you got the funk. I got the funk. Yeah, definitely some funk going on in here. Oh, man. Say chocolate, raisin, and a hot tamale. But I don't think Wyatt's got the horses to carry it forward. All right, so y'all, once again, it's a reminder that the final, like tonight, like the tasting, the ticker, all the stuff you've seen, it's probably 1,000% accurate. But in the event, like we had the pouring team had like the wrong bottle, I'm gonna check all the bottles that were poured. I'm gonna check everything, things that I have not had my eyes on this entire time. Like I have not seen this stuff. I'm just tasting what's given to me in the order it's given to me. I am not a part of any of the things that come to this getting into the glass. So tomorrow, after a good night's rest, of course, and a lot of coconut water and probably a sauna visit, I'm going to review everything, and if there's any errors or anything, we'll disclose that and put that out in the final ranking. Tomorrow, Sunday, or Monday, but whenever that happens, that will be the final. But the tasting here, this top 25, this should 1,000% be the final, with the exception of something getting messed up on the pouring side. But I just want to give that disclosure because I have finished this round, and now I'm ready to go to some questions. And let's go.
Buffalo bourbon enthusiasts want to know the best Amberana whiskey out there.
So Buffalo bourbon enthusiast wants to know the best Amberana whiskey out there. Next question.
Bill Perkins wants to know what component of whiskey production has the largest impact on the finish.
His name's Bill Perkins. Bill Perkins wants to know what part of whiskey production has the largest impact on the flavor of whiskey. I kind of like talked about that a little bit earlier with the craft question. When it came to like the flaws of craft whiskeys, I think we would mostly say that the barrel, the aging process, has the most impact on the flavor of the whiskey. I think we would all agree on that. But no one ever talks about what gives you the most flaws. And I swear to this, like poorly taken care of equipment is what will kill your distillery faster than anything. You don't clean your column, you don't scrub your wash tuns properly, you don't take care of your bottling line. That stuff all has an impact on how your whiskey tastes. And you know what? I bet you anything, if we all went into most distilleries and looked at the bottling line equipment, they don't put nearly the same amount of attention on the bottling line as they do the lines going into the columns or the scrubbing out of the tanks. Like, all of that matters, but I would say cleanliness of a distillery is more important than anything else. I think I answered that in a long, roundabout way. Yeah. All right, next question.
Mike wants to know, besides Old Crow, what legacy historic brand would you like to see return to prominence?
Oh, what was Mike? Mike, great question. Mike wanted to know, like, other than Old Crow, what legacy brand would I like to see restored to its prominence? I'd probably say Kentucky Tavern. Kentucky Tavern's kind of a joke right now, and it was fantastic. It was once the greatest, one of the greatest pours of all time, and so I'd like to see them return to glory.
RM wants to know, what your deserted island whiskey is.
RN wants to know what my deserted island whiskey is. Truth is, I've been asked that a lot, and I don't think I really have one. I'd want water. I'd want a way to eat if I'm on a deserted island. But if I had to choose with whiskey, like if I'm like saying fuck it, I'm gonna drink this every day, it'd be 1969 Old Crow, the Chessman.
Bearded Bourbon wants to know, they would love to know who Fred believes has made the biggest impact in the industry, a person, a distillery, and who has made the biggest impact on you.
Oh, for God's sake. Bearded Bourbon asking me a question that's going to bring tears to my eyes. Wanting to know, like, who's made the biggest impact on whiskey in the industry, and then who's made the personal biggest impact on me. My God. Jeez. Bearded Bourbon, what's up with you, man? Trying to make me cry? All right, let's get to it. I'd say, from a contemporary standpoint, the most important person alive today for American whiskey is Bill Samuels. Bill Samuels is the former chairman of Maker's Mark, and he was the guy out there really parading in the 1970s and 80s, trying to bring bourbon back. From a distiller perspective, Jimmy Russell's right there. But man, Bill Samuels did so much for bourbon and so many other people, and he had a huge impact on me. There was a time I was going to give up on whiskey. I was not doing well, financially. I just had a kid, or my wife had a kid, and I was the dad. And I was not comfortable with the limelight I was receiving with the book that I had just written. And I kind of was not having a good time with whiskey. I was not having fun anymore. And I'm in the middle of like researching a project, and Bill pulls me aside and he says, I don't know what you're going to do, but you're going to change whiskey. And I was like, are you trying to suck up to me because I'm interviewing you? Like, what are you doing here? Like, what are you doing? And I just kind of came away from that. I was like, if Bill Samuels believes in me, then I should believe in myself for whiskey. And I've come across that a few times, even recently. Just like, what am I doing? Am I doing it right? And I always go to this like, Bill Samuels thinks I'm doing all right, but I'm doing all right. So he's had the greatest impact on me. In a contemporary perspective, I think he's been the guy. He's been the guy that helped bring bourbon back more than any other individual. And I think the question is, and I'd love to see this in the chat later, who's more important for a distillery? The salesman or the distiller? Because the salesmen are often the people who, get the distiller busy and get the distiller in demand. But the salesman could never be the salesman if the distiller wasn't awesome. So it's kind of like we have this incredible question of the chicken or the egg in American whiskey. Who's more important? And I'm just like, I'm enamored with that question. So I put in the chat or comment, I would love to see your thoughts on who's more important for American whiskey, the salesman or the distiller. All right, next question, and then that'll be the last one, and we'll get to the ranking.
Richard wants to know, what's the backstory about the Buffalo Trace wild turkey juice that's been coming out the past couple of months? Have you tried any, and why is it all of a sudden making its way up?
These brokers are pretty good about getting barrels that come back online. A lot of things that the question was like, what's the story with a lot of this, like, and I'll just say legacy distiller products coming back online, and people bottling them. And I'll just say, like, there's been a lot of stuff come up in the wholesale market where people are getting them. And the question was, have I tried any of it? Hell yeah, I've tried it. It's damn good. Some of it might be here tonight, but there's a lot of great whiskey out there. But also, if you got to remember, if it's gone to a broker, that means the distiller either sold it early or didn't want it late. So it's, it's 50-50. All right. So am I good? Can I take a break and then come back real quick to do the ranking? Is that cool? Yep. All right. Break and do a quick little break, and I'll be right back. Hit blue stones while I'm walking in. All right. It is time. It is time for the ranking. And I just want to remind you all That the final rankings will be out tomorrow, Sunday, or Monday. And thank you to the Bluestones for the music. Everyone, make sure pull out your Spotify, your Apple Tunes, whatever you listen to your music on, and check out the Bluestones. Awesome band. Big fan of them. Also, past guest of the Fred Minnick Show. So I think it is time for me to start whittling this down, you know. So we're gonna start with glass O. Oh. Where are you? Oh. Damn. I do not got this shit organized. I'll tell you that right now. But I think y'all knew this by now. Yeah, there's O. Start with O. And M. That's not it. I got an empty glass over here. M. This is basically a taste off to see who's going to be 25th. Let's see if we have anyone else. And T. Okay, so first, I'm going to taste T. M. Oh. I'm going back to that Kind bar. Oof. M just might be saved. It's like eating a Kind bar. Like, I want to be kind to it. O. All right, going into 25th, it's going to be T. Do my best to get that over there. So T will be 25th. I mean, huge accomplishment, actually. You know, scored higher than the 500 and something other things in tasting this year. And O will be 24. So just gotta write that down and get back to it. M is going to stay in the next round for now. I tasted that again, and the Kind bar notes on M are just off the charts. That peanutty, almondy, just sweet, grainy. Just loved it. So now we've got to bring in K. Now remember my methods here. I've got my notes. I've got my little arrows. I've got some chicken scratch that I do. And I just I have this thing. Like I know what to look for with my stuff. P. Looking for glass P. Where did you go, P? Yeah, seriously, where the fuck is P? That's K. We got M. Ah, there's P. All right, P. And so we got K, we got P. V. U. No, I'm sorry, not U. Not U. My bad. W. 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 We got Y. Did I get Y? I did not get Y. Y. I. Looking for I. You can see this is a little bit of the meat of the competition here. And D. I'm just going to make sure that I've got everything accounted for that hit the 2 arrow mark. W. Y. V. Missing E. Looks like I missed E. E. D. D. Okay. E. I. All right. So that's all the 2s on that page. And we got P. P and K. Okay, and then of course M is a survivor of the last round. So now we are basically moving from, we rated our 25th, our 24th. Now we're gonna see what's 23rd and on, and then we're gonna go into that next step, okay? All right, so let's start from I. Y. Y over I. So at this stage, what I'm doing is I'm doing a quick taste. I'm seeing which one I feel on my palate more. And Y was a clear winner over that one. And we're going to see with W. Y over W. I over W. Going to V. V over I and W. Going to P. P over V, Y, I, and W. K. K over I and W. M, the holdout from the last one. M over W and I, K over M. Thank you. Glass D. D over W, I, M, K, Y, V, possibly tied with P. Class E. Class E over W, I, M, K, Y, V, P, and D. This one felt pretty straight-laced, actually. I'm gonna hold D and E and rank the rest. All right, so coming in at 23, W. Coming in at 22, I. Coming in at 21, M. Coming in at 20, that's right, yeah. 25, 24, 23, 22, 20, yep. That was 20. Coming in at 20, K. Coming in at 19, Y. Coming in at 18, right? Yeah. 18, V. Coming in at 17, P. Make sure I got these right. So 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. Okay, so that's accurate. So this, I'm holding D and E over for that that next layer to see where it goes. Go ahead and I'm going to need my palate to air out a little bit. Are you guys writing up what things are? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Okay, then never mind. So I'll just talk about my process here. So here we are. We're in the trenches here. Like, you can probably see, like, I'm really dialed in. If this is a spirits competition, like, we are only talking or writing notes down when it's time to decide. Like, like, I knew the minute I tasted glass A, like, it was a finalist contender. Like, I knew it was in that level. And so now we're getting into that tier where we have tasted those things. And sometimes you taste something and then you taste it again and you're like, you know what? It's better than I thought it was originally. So that's the case with like Glass M. So I'm not undercutting anything. If anything, I'm moving it up. But I also don't feel like when you're doing a tasting, I don't feel like you miss negatives. And so what I mean by that is the first thing that I'm looking for when I'm tasting something is a flaw. Like something that is not complete, it's not all the way there. And so it's harder to fool me in a flight like this. Like, I don't think a stinker is going to get through in the top 15. I just don't think it's going to happen for my palate. Like, it's my list, it's my tasting, so we're all different and everybody tastes uniquely to them. But for me, like, I've looked at everything that I've ever tasted in like the top 15. There's might have been, one or two that I was like, went back and tasted them, like, I was wrong with that, but usually it's pretty spot on for what I like and like what I like to taste. So I feel very good about this going into the top 17. And so now we are going to taste. We're going to have a whole slew of them here. We'll go with B. Where's B? C. Now we're getting into the trenches, right? F. And I've got the letters facing me now because, well, harder to organize when I can't see them. F, G, H. And J's that next tier. N. Q is the next tier. S or R. R. S. U. And X. Make sure I got everything. Just want to check on everyone here, working here hard tonight. Michael, you good? Y'all good?
Yep.
All right, man. Got a nice dinner coming for you later if you want it. You gonna be hungry later?
Yes.
He says yes. All right, H. I did get H. All right. C, B, C, K, E. Good. Yep. So the ones left over here. So these are going to be presumed upper tier in case you're interested. L, A, Q, J scored so highly, they kind of got buys, if you will, in this next round. All right, So now let's start with, we'll start with D. Actually, no, we just tasted D, so let's go to B like Bravo. Oh my God. This is gonna be hard. That one ain't getting kicked out. Not yet. Whew. Let's go to glass C. Not as good as B. Go to F. Oh my God. Oh, it's so good. It's not ready to get kicked out either. Oh. All right, let's go to G. We'll take some questions after this one. G, not as good as C. Let's go to H. Keep an H. Going to N. N just feels old. It's like, it's old and it's not over oaked and it's like not, it just tastes good. I don't feel like it's that dark. I'm keeping that one. Man, some good stuff right here. All right, let's go to, I was in. Did I taste Q's next? Let's go to R. C and G over R. Let's go to S. Holding that one back. I'm gonna go to U. man, this ain't easy. X over C, G, and R. So, what was the number we left off on?
We're at 16.
We're at 16. So R is 16. G. 15. C. 14. X. 13. All right. So I gotta narrow this one down here. I just need to kick out 3 of them so I can have a solid top 10 finish. Is that right? We're at 13 now, so I got to kick out
Was 13 X? X already?
Yeah, 13 was X.
Okay, so you have 12 and 11 to do if you want to do. Oh no.
Yeah, so I need to kick out 2. 2. All right. Nose alone comes down to H, F, and B. N, S, and U go forward. F is better than B. F is better than H. What's better than those two? I'm gonna go B, 11. Wait, is it 12? 12. B is 12. H is 11. All right, so your top 10 is J, Q, A, L, U, S, N, F, D. Oh wait, with D. Yeah, right. Hold on, I don't think that's right. I think 1, 2, 3. So where are we at Where are we at final ranking wise?
We have 10 left.
We have 10 left. Yeah. Okay. So then D and E are in. Yeah. All right, let's do some questions if we have, if we can.
Kevin O'Reilly wants to know what some of your favorite distillers, but also favorite blenders are.
Kevin O'Reilly, huh? Kevin O'Reilly wants to know who my favorite blenders are. From companies, American Styles, Barrel is huge. My partners on Pursuit Spirits, or my partners on Bourbon Pursuit, they have a brand called Pursuit Spirits. I'm a real fan of what Ryan's doing right now. Nancy Fraley is off the charts with what she does as a blender. And Dixon Deadman's up there. I'd say there's a lot of blenders I love right now. But it's a hard job, man. Blending ain't easy. It ain't an easy job.
How much impact does the order you taste the lineup make? Steve and I.
You know, I'd be remiss if I said it didn't have any, because I'm human. There's obviously going to be impact, but you know, it's kind of like someone who's like, you know, an athlete. You got to show up and do the best you can with what you got. You know, there's no ranking that matters. There's no hype that matters. There's no anything that matters when you do a blind tasting. It's how does your palate feel right there in that moment. And, you know, it has shown over the years that spirits competitions with whiskey tasters tend to like things that are cask strength. And I think that's what we like. And when you look at it, the distillers are putting in the best whiskey in those cask strength products. So I think that's kind of it. Like you do the best you can, but at the same time, at the end of the day, you pick what you like. Is that so wrong?
No.
How do you procure all the bottles for this?
I do not procure. Well, actually, so I buy them, and if I can't find them to buy, I hit up the PR people and I say, "Hey, can I get this bottle?" And that's usually when it's like a, you know, $7,000 bottle or something like that. But I try to buy them all. And sometimes they're not in my market or where I can buy them, but we try to do our best to buy them all. But I got to be honest with you, this year was kind of like a real major crazy year, because I'm in the middle of writing a book. It's due in like 5 days, actually. My book is due in 5 days. And I am like, I've been writing the book and working on this and doing something else. And I kind of love it. I love all the stuff. I really do. But the buying of the bottles was me hitting up my really good friends like Brad Williams from Liquor Barn and Chris from Kroger in Louisville. I'm like, man, can you help me out? You know, I'm so thankful for the friendships I have like that where I can do that. But truth is, man, I buy most of it unless it's like stupid, crazy, or not in my market.
Bourbon Eye wants to know who this Spit Cup sponsor is.
The Spit Cup sponsor, Bourbon Eye, is Eline Realty, which I have been tasting in their home for some time now. And it's the oldest realty company in all of Louisville. So if you would like to check out Eline Realty, where do you go? Sid, where do you go? ElineRealty.com?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, there you go. Bourbon Eye's been getting a lot of good questions in the night. So shall we do the top 10? Good. Is there another good question we should answer?
Good final question, I think.
Okay.
Derek wants to know how much role does proof play in your grades? And do you skew one way or another? Is it all tasting?
Derek asked a great question. It was like, how much does proof play in my final grades? I think really what it comes down to is distillers are putting their best whiskey in higher proof products, you know, and it's like that in Scotch. It's like that in Australian whiskey. It's like that in American whiskey, and I think that's the main thing that I have seen is that if you water the whiskey down, it's still really good. It still holds up, and but proof, you know, if it doesn't hit a couple metrics on my palate, then it's probably out, and proof might be one of them. Does that make me a bad taster? Well, that's up for you, man. That's up for you to decide. Like, I just know this. Like, the American whiskey palate is cask strength. And if I'm wrong, I don't know if I want to be right. Let's do this. This is our top 10. We have E, D, which came in, by the way, from the earlier flight. F, N, S, U, J, Q, A, L. I feel like I need a fucking break or something, but I don't want one. You right, Michael? Good?
Yeah, they're good.
Sid, you good? Mm-hmm. I don't think Sid's good. Huh?
S.
We have L, A, Q, J, U, S, N, F, D, E. Let's make sure I get that fucking right. Oh my shit. Yeah, so. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I am tasting D and E against F. Yeah, you know what? I'm tasting all of it, so. Here we go. Zell. That was pretty special. That's really special. That's really good. Going to A, which wowed me right away. L over A. We're just going to do this like I'm going to go straight to it. I'm going to know like L is above A. So A can still finish quite well, but it will not finish above. I'm sorry, A can finish quite well, but it will not finish above L. And again, this is a reminder that the finals, like the actual list, will come out tomorrow through Monday. Q's nice. Q over A. Let's go to J. A over J. Excuse me for a second while I address my notes to make sure I'm good. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Taste N. N over J. Taste E. E over J. But N, A, and L. So I basically have 4 whiskeys to taste until I taste off. Are you tracking, making sure I taste everything? All right. All right, good. I hate to miss something. All right. J over U. All right, so we go into S, F, and D. All right. Going to F. Putting F in the taste off. An S. S goes in the taste off. All right, D. D over U. All right, so your taste off will be S, F, Q, and L. So number 5. Glass A. Number 5 is Glass A. Is that the right number? Yep. Yep. Oh, wait, no. Number 9.
Yeah.
Number 9. Was it number 10?
10. Yeah, we haven't put 10.
Yeah, so sorry. So number 10. This is why we, listen. I've been tasting this whole time. If I can't get a little bit of cut me some slack, I mean, come on.
It's an A, right?
I mean, yeah. A is number 10. Jeez. N is number 9. E, number 8. J, number 7. Number 6. D. Kind of incredible, actually. D was in that second tier. Came out all the way this way. U. Now, for number 1, which comes down to Q, L, F, and S. May I use the bathroom and come back for some questions? All right. Hey everyone, so man, I just gotta say, like, I feel great. My palate feels great. There is, I think my crew, which it's hard for them to like manage all this because I can't get in there and talk or say what I messed up or whatever. But I made a major mishap when I said A was 5. That was because like I was like looking at 4 glasses in front of me, and I have been drinking all night, so you got to give me some slack here. But A was actually 10, not 5. That was a mess up, right, guys? Yeah. All right. So I want to clear that up. That A was 10 and not 5. So let us not take that away from what is here left on the top 4, which is S, F, L, and Q. Now, this has been a great night for me. I've enjoyed it. I've got to hang out with my wife. She's been doing everything behind the scenes. My wife is awesome. She's hot too. My wife's smoking fucking hot. But that's not why I love her. I love her for more than that. But okay, she's you know, I gotta shut up now. You know, I'm hanging out with friends, Eric Carrico and Michael and Sid, all the folks in Club Marzipan. You know, I can't see the chat. I want to see the chat, but if I see the chat, it will reveal what the whiskeys are. So I thought I'd take some time to answer some questions, if there are any, before I get into this tasting. Because truth is, I could take a couple minutes. We got some questions?
Let's see. There's a bunch of people talking about the.
Oh, there's people pissed off about the numbers getting wrong or something?
Confused.
People are confused? By what is what?
How long until Pursuit Spirits does a Minnick collab?
How long until Pursuit Spirits does a Minnick collab? Yeah, I just did a barrel pick with them for Club Marzipan, but then Ryan called me up and said, "Hey, can we have one of those barrels back?" So I don't know. So we did 2 barrel picks there with Club Marzipan. But you know, again, y'all, I've said this like several times tonight. The final, conclusive, accurate top 100 will, in the ranking perspective, will be out tomorrow, Sunday, or Monday. So it tonight, like the number 1, top 5, top 25, conclusive. But after that, you know, we'll get it figured out. But I'll get all the we'll get that, make sure that all the brand names are right, all the proofs are right, prices and stuff like that. I'll make sure all of that is together. But I can't do it and still do this tasting objectively. Like I cannot go in there and look at the spreadsheets and things that are being poured without you know, knowing what something is. So I have not known what any of this is, none of it, and so that's the whole point of it, of a blind tasting. So, any other questions? No, mostly just bitching about like, you fucked that up. Sorry about that. But we do have the top 4 here, so that's exciting. So let's get to it, shall we? All right. Welcome to the gentlemen. Welcome to the fun, stressful evening of a whiskey live. It's all good, man. You don't got to worry about it. In fact, if we have a, you know, once I see the bottles, I'll correct whatever's wrong in the chat. Okay. I do not know what we have been tasting. I do not know. and I don't know what Jacqueline put down as something, and I will not say anything about anything else. So we'll just taste and pick it out, and once it's over, we'll figure out what everything was. Deal? Cheers. All right, so I gotta get my head right back, get myself back. I understand there's stuff going on in the chat, but I gotta taste these 4 to pick number 1. All right, let's start with Q. Boy, that smells spicy and delicious. Some bitch, that's good. Ooh. Just grabbing my tongue, holding on, and playing. That's good. Class L. Very different whiskeys, but damn, is that good. L and Q are kind of like, they're what I imagine like opposite roommates being, but both are awesome. Like Q is like so spicy, so herbal, so complex. L is like so sweet, so like big, in like a pie filling kind of format, and like it's just, they're so different. So different. And look, I love F for its own reasons, but Q and L are better than F for my palate tonight. So at the very least, F is 4th, but it could be better than S. Let's find out. Yeah. F will be 4th. F is 4th. I think I need a re-pour of S. Can I get a re-pour of S? Don't bring it to me though. No, take the glass. I can't see it. I'll take another bottle of water too while you're at it. So what we're looking at here is we're looking at, thank you. We're looking at like a, it's really funny that it comes down to like basically 3 pours. Q, Spy Superhighway. L, like complete opposite. And then S, like right down the middle. Like these 3 are, like if I'm starting a team, I want these 3 on my team. What team, you might ask? Well, as a matter of fact, It's a wrestling team. This is your 125 pounder, 133 pounder, and your heavyweight. I mean, right? That's what it takes to make a good wrestling team in college. Sorry. That was wrong. No one cares about wrestling. All right, so Q and L. L does have a lot of cinnamon, though. I do like that. Lemon cake. Really good. Really, really good. So when I talk about Q, I mentioned the Turkish. I mentioned those Turkish notes. It's so there. With L, it's spicy as well. But when I come to S, all right, I think I'm ready. I'm going L into third, and it's a taste off between S and Q. Woo! Y'all ready for this?
Yeah.
You ready for this? Yeah? My palate's ready. My palate's like, when the fuck you gonna be done with this shit? I'm ready to like go drink a beer. Truth is, like, when it comes down to something like this, like I've got 2 whiskeys, and man, unless I've lost my faculties, I do not think these are the same types of whiskey. I think one's a rye and one is something else. I'm not entirely sure what S is, but I'm pretty sure Q is a rye. And the fact is, when you are tasting this much over and over and over and over and over again, this is where you can find yourself in a bit of a pickle. And you have to follow your tongue. You have to follow your tasting process. And for those who know me, you know my process. My process comes from when I came home from Iraq and I was going through therapy, and I went into a technique of therapy called taste mindfulness. And it was that technique that helped me understand my palate, but it also helped me like completely slow everything down and think about what was on my tongue in that moment, in that time. And that's what I'm gonna do simply between S and Q and a taste off. So I'm gonna taste these 2. I'm not gonna spit, and I am going to pick my winner. So let's do it. My favorite whiskey of 2024. Shit. Not easy. some glass S and Q. Can I get a re-pour on S? Sorry. It's not easy, man. This is the closest pour. This is the closest tasting I've ever had. Can I get a re-pour on Q just to be safe? Thank you. I'm gonna pull my phone out. I'm gonna do a timer. The only way I know how to finish this is with a actual finish on the palate. Is that wrong?
No.
Just gotta find my watch here. All right. Glass S for finish. It's a long finish. All right, so glass S finishes at 43.01. 43.01 is what glass S. All right. And I assess my finish from the time it hits my palate to the end of the flavor. Okay, so glass Q. Wait, no. What's that? Shit. My bad. I already filled glass Q going away. Glass F is your champion. Glass F is the glass S. Glass S. Glass S is your top 100 #1 best American whiskey. I'm Fred Minnick, and that's kind of like that's what I do, man. I go through and I taste all the stuff, and I choose. Can you all tell me what they are now?
Yeah.
Want to show me what it is? All right. Okay. All right. So number one. This is number one. No way. So Russell's Reserve wins number one. Holy shit! Look at this, a small little company, Nashville Barrel Company. Look, I love Nashville Barrel Company. Awesome dudes there. Look at that, man. It seriously came in number 2? All right, what's number 3, 4, 5, and 6? I gotta know. Number 3 was Stag. So Buffalo Trace Antique Collection was Stag. All right. He got number 4 as well. That motherfucker. All right, number 5. What was number 5? We have to have the official.
There is robust debate in the chat.
What's that?
There is robust debate in the chat on whether your 5 and your 10 were backward.
We figured that out. Yeah.
We went back and listened to it. It wasn't.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Very clear now?
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Number 5 was Old Rip Van Winkle. Okay. So this is my first time seeing this, y'all. Like, everyone's been pouring it and everything. Like, I've not seen these. I do not know what I've been tasting this whole night. And I assure you that's true. Like, I have no idea. So next up? What the fuck is this? Holy shit. O.H. Ingram. Man, they came in 6. Is that 6? Damn. It's a big win for them. I mean, so here we go. We got 3 of the top 6 are from little low bitty small brands. Holy shit.
Yep.
An American single malt comes in right here. What was that? What number was that? That was 830. What was the new label on that one?
7.
Put A, B, C, D, E. I know it's 7, but what was it? Was E? I said spicy nutter
J,
butter.
Sorry,
What?
it's J.
That was J.
Yeah.
Hey Jack, what letter was this on the? Well, no, it says 836. Like that's from. That's from.
It's J.
Is that J?
Yep.
Yep, hold line is
Holy shit, man. I said oatmeal. Mouth coating. That's a big win for single malts. Damn.
E. Number 8.
So this is 8. Barrel proof Larceny C924. I mean, you all know this now. This is my first time seeing it. Oh,
Yep.
the $7,500 bottle finishes 8,
9.
9. That's proof that you don't got to spend money on whiskey. Get good whiskey. I mean, also.
Infinity.
Okay, all right. So number 10, Little Book. Solid. All right. Questions? Feel free to bring in some questions, but we'll wrap it up here in a minute. I can't do all of the 25 like this because I just can't. I just want to do the top 10. But there you go, man. That's your champion. You know what's crazy is like Will Breed in Club Marzipan was like, Fred, this is the best whiskey I've tasted all year. And Will, if you're watching this is how I know you are a legit whiskey taster, man. Right, a legit whiskey taster. And you deserve to be a taster in the Ascots. So if you're watching this, I'd like to invite you to be a taster in the Ascots. You gotta spit. You can't drink all of it. You gotta spit. That's the only thing. Because you will pass out and have issues if you don't spit. You got it. Any questions?
Let's see here.
That's-
Drink a beer now?
What's that?
Will you drink a beer now?
Yes, I will totally drink a beer now. I'm looking forward to my beer. That's your wife's. So this is Sid's favorite. This is Sid's wife's favorite bourbon of the year. Yeah. Hey, it fought through the trenches, man. This was not an easy flight by any means whatsoever.
Someone earlier asked when the Lions win, what will be the whiskey?
When the Lions win, the Super Bowl? Man, they got too many injuries, man. Like, if the Lions win the Super Bowl, it's a fucking miracle. Like, if they win a game, I mean, you gotta go with Journeyman because, it's right there in Michigan. But other than that, it's rough. I mean, all right. So are we good to wrap, or are the comments that bad? They're that bad. All right. So you all. Club Marzipan. Stay tuned for a live stream later. I'm gonna put a link in the chat for us to hook up later, and we'll do an after action tasting and review. Cheers.